as big as some of these songs have been, Sri Lanka doesn't have a copyright association.
Do you prefer producing and being in the studio and releasing music, or do you prefer live?
I'm Sri Lankan enough to give respect to everybody, but I'm Melbourne enough to not be disrespected.
Powered by WinLads.
Hey guys, welcome to Under the Coconut Tree with Tanila. Today we have an artist and a music producer here on the show. He's done some pretty crazy stuff and I've first-hand experienced his work. MARKIA or Mark, welcome to the show, man. Hey. How you going?
Good to see you, man. What's going on?
Bro, it's been a minute.
Bro, Under the Coconut Tree is a wild name for a podcast, bro. I'm just saying.
Bro, you're not wrong. So we were thinking about this and we're like, you know what, we're based in Australia. We're also brown.
Yeah.
We're kind of white on the inside too. So it kind of worked out well. We're under for down under. I thought I was a lyrical genius, but you're the professional in this field. So if you think it's interesting, I'm gonna take that as a win.
No, totally. I mean, it's borderline racist, but it's cool. It's fine.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Borderline racist, but also they might trigger some views. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, totally. No, I get that, man.
But bro, so I've worked with you before, man.
Yes.
I've seen your work for years now as well, and I know that you're pretty incredible. But if you could summarize what you do, just for our listeners out there, what is it that MARKIA does?
Sure. So for our viewers out there,
I love the look. For our viewers out there,
not listeners, but anyway, look, I am a producer. I'm an artist first and foremost. Worked with a bunch of different artists, everyone from Iraj to Soulja Boy. There's been a bit gamut of artists that I've worked with. I'm born and raised in Melbourne, Australia, so my work is mainly within Australia, and I've done work in the US and in Sri Lanka, obviously with Iraj and other artists over there. But I found that I've got my home base here, so literally everything that I've done has been growth from here. So it's stretched far and wide, and it's been a long time as well. I'm getting old, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
How long have you been doing this for, man? Being an artist and a producer. Or where did you start?
I started when I was 16 as a DJ, and so that kind of got me into production work and making beats and everything.
Yeah, right.
From that point, I was always writing music and writing raps and everything. But yeah, it just was a flow on from that point. So I got signed when I was 21 to a local major label, and from there was producing heaps for local artists, and then decided to just branch out and do my own thing. And so I had my own label at the time. I had 4 artists signed to me, and just did. At the time it was gospel hip hop. Yeah, that was the style of music. Did a lot of touring, did a lot of performances, a lot of albums that came out at the time. And then, look, I took a trip to Sri Lanka probably around about 2011. Met Iraj, didn't know anything about him. Keep in mind, I had no communication with Sri Lanka other than this was just a holiday
You're
destination.
pretty much an Oreo, right? I mean, you're all white on the inside.
I don't want to say that I'm white on the inside, because when you get to the airport, you got an Australian passport. They still get questioned like you're brown. So
yeah, fair enough.
Let me just
randomly checked.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, random. Yeah. Anyways, so for me, I didn't have too much connection with Sri Lanka, in that sense. Yeah.
So you definitely didn't know the music scene over there, because
No.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Did you know his songs like Ahankara Nagara?
I had no idea.
You had no idea.
Bro,
okay, cool.
We barely spoke Sinhalese at home. The only time we spoke, not me. The only time my parents spoke Sinhalese at home was when they didn't want us to know what they were talking about. So
when they're talking shit about you.
Most likely, yeah. And that's why we just didn't. We know the cuss words, but we don't know anything else outside of that. So
That's what's important, man. Don't worry about
it. Totally.
That and Buttagini, right? You got to know that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's the only things that we kind of know. But that's all you need to get through Sri Lanka, isn't it? Just the cuss words and I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. So when I went to Sri Lanka, I went there solely on a holiday basis. And I just thought, look, I'm doing music. Let me just try and reach out to a few people. And funnily enough, Iraj had 2 Facebook profiles, not artist page, but friends pages.
Yeah.
And so I just messaged both of them. And I just said, hey, look, I'm a local artist from Australia. I'm in Sri Lanka. You want to link up? And he was like, yeah. One of the accounts responded to me and said, yeah, come through.
Yeah.
And so I just took down the address, gave it to the driver, and we pulled up to his house, and he's like, oh, this is the Raj's house. I'm like, oh, this guy's a big deal, is he?
Yeah, you had no idea.
I had no idea.
Was it a nice house?
Bro, it was huge, man. He had his name in the bottom of his pool and everything, and he had security at the front. So I didn't know to what level this guy was.
This guy's sllegit. How did you slide into his DMs? That sounded really weird, actually, when I said that.
No, but that's exactly what I did.
But how did it work? Because he responded, obviously. Did you send some of your samples or anything? Or?
No, I just said I'm a local artist. And keep in mind, at that time, even the term sliding to your DMs wasn't even the thing. Yeah, it was just I was just messaging the guy, and that's just how everyone just kind of communicated. So
I love that, man. It's like you
shoot
a shot. Yeah, shoot a shot, yeah.
And again, I'm just trying to just collaborate with people,
Yeah.
and it was more so I was just trying to see how my music would fare in Sri Lanka.
Lanka,
That was it. So when I meet with him, get past security and everything, and I get into the studio, and it was him, and I think Imfaz was there as well at the same time.
He's a good singer too.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's dope.
He's awesome. And yeah, we just sat in the studio. I just played my stuff, and Iraj said, "Hey, look, man, this is really good stuff, but because it's in English, it may not work out here."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Cool." So I was ready to just get up and leave.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Look, before you leave, I got this song called Lion Nation. You know, it's for the World Cup if you want to be on it." I'm like,
Wait, what? Yeah.
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
And so I was leaving the day after that. So I had
Yeah.
probably 2 days left in Colombo. So
You went back to coming back to Melbourne.
yeah.
Right.
So he gave me the track, and I wrote my parts like that night. Came back the next day and recorded it. And then he was like, "Oh, bro, do you want to firstly, do you want to do an English remix? And secondly, do you want to do the video?" I'm like, "Bro, of course, man."
Hell yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
"Cool. Can you stay for longer?" I'm like, "Nah, bro.
Yeah,
Like, nah, I can't do that. But I'll get some guys out here that can do
Yeah.
it. I've got plenty of guys that do video. We'll just do it
Record,
out here." Yeah. So I came back here and we shot my parts on some green screen and we did some like shots down at Waverley Park because
Yeah.
it's cricket and everything.
That's cool.
And yeah, so made the cut, with the song and the video and the remix. So there's an English remix of Lion Nation, which is pretty much just all me.
That's dope, man.
But I'm also on the original as well.
That's so sick.
So that was
We're going to have to find that video and plug it in for everyone to see.
For sure.
I actually had no idea you were on Lion Nation.
Yeah.
Like, I know the
Yeah.
song,
Yeah.
like, because I heard it, but I didn't realize. Because you're a rapper, but you also sing too, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so what were you doing on this? You wrote the raps and you sang?
So
Or?
the verse was put on the original,
Yep.
and then what I did was I redid the original version, but to English. So I sang the hook and
Yeah, gotcha.
and all that. So
So the hook was you, for essentially, for the English version?
yes,
That's dope,
it's
man.
pretty much majority me. I
Yeah.
think. Bro, I haven't heard the song in such a long time. I can't remember who else was on that track.
Yeah.
Jai Sri was the other group that was on that song.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, so from there, me and Raj's relationship took off from there.
Yeah,
because
right.
the song we did after that was called Your Love, and that went pretty big in the US. And so as a result of that, I know that Iraj got to work with Corrupt and an artist named Truth Hurts, who was
Right.
signed to Dr. Dre. So this was
That's
all
pretty big deal, yeah.
So when he told me, he's like, "Bro, like DJ Quick has heard this stuff and he thinks it's dope." I'm like, "That's crazy." So
Yeah.
so it all kind of spanned from that part. And so like now, like Iraj, he always said to me, "Bro, I want to break into the English market." And so he didn't really have an artist that could do that for
So
him.
you were kind of his foot in the door.
Yeah, totally. So for me, and I was like, "Bro, I don't have anyone in Sri Lanka that I'm working with."
It's
So
a mutually beneficial relationship.
yeah, totally,
building, yeah.
totally. I think the only detriment that came from the relationship was the more and more stuff I did with the Raj, the more like fans I got that was assuming that I was going to do that type of music, kind of like Sri Lankan infused like hip hop. And it's like, bro, I know Buddy Guinea, so
Yeah.
so what else do you want me to say on the track?
And
you know?
everything that my parents called me when I was being naughty. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. That's it. So if that's all you want the verse to be, cool. I got you. But that's it. So I didn't really do anything more from that point.
Yeah, yeah.
So it just got super difficult because
Yeah.
I just felt like everything I was releasing out here, it wasn't resonating.
It wasn't
with
connecting.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's what you want to do. The stuff you're releasing is what is your bread and butter. You're like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. And so keep in mind, man, I mean, doing all the stuff I've done in Australia has given me a solid fan base here who are real, like, genuine hip-hop heads and genuinely into the music, and that they really understand the bars and the lyrics. To be honest, man, like, that doesn't translate to the Sri Lankan audience because they don't understand nuance. They don't understand, like, the wittiness of what,
It's a
the
different
lyrics.
English.
Yes.
It's a different English.
It's basic English.
Yeah.
And that sounds really bad.
Yeah.
But when I'm putting so much effort into a verse,
It's not appreciated, is what you're saying.
It's
right?
not. It's not. It's just like, oh, cool, bro. It sounds awesome. Hey, you remind me of Drake. I'm like, oh, damn it. Like, you know what I mean?
Because he did that brown boy thing straight away. Like,
no, but that's what they do,
yeah.
right? And so I think this is what I kind of don't like about the Sri Lankan industry.
Yeah.
Is they're always trying to like claim someone to be the Sri Lankan version of something. So it's
Rather
like,
than be the person.
yes.
Yeah,
So it's like, oh, this is the Sri Lankan version of Drake, or this is the Sri Lankan version of Usher, or this. They said this guy named Duava, who's from Toronto. Oh, he's the Sri Lankan version of The Weeknd. It's like, bro,
He's Duava.
just accept us for who we are and accept our journey. We might have people that we sound like, but it doesn't mean that we are that version of that. Because
Do you reckon it's terrible English? But do you think they do that, or our people do that, so a way to resonate and identify similarities more from? I'm trying to be an optimist, a half kind of guy here. So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So do you think they're doing it from a point of, oh yeah, this is like the Drake. He's our Drake, like in a term of in an endearing way, maybe.
I'm sure they mean it like that, but I think what they do is they limit that artist then to be in that box.
Pigeonhole them.
Yeah, and that's the problem because, like you said, like for myself, I sing and I rap. So, what box do I actually fit in then? Because I try and put as much emphasis on both of those skill sets. I also produce. So, name me an artist out there that falls exactly into that category. Like they don't, and that's been born and raised in Melbourne, Australia. That has that's Sri Lankan by heritage. Like no one has walked that journey. So I feel like by trying to even just keep them in that type of like section of like, oh, he only does this. Yes, it might be like flattering at some point, but it's limiting at the same time.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, man. And I guess you don't want that kind of almost being forced into this role of what you're doing when you're trying to be MARKIA, not the Sri Lankan version of Drake or whatever it is. But I do understand what they're trying to do. But I think maybe it's an education piece as well, right? Because their culture's so different how they go about these things. They're almost too direct, and that's okay, but it's also different,
Yeah. To be honest, I think, and I'm just talking specifically about the Sri Lankan audience. They go by image.
Right, okay.
Right? And if they hear something that sounds cool, they'll say, oh, that's cool. Wouldn't understand a word of it. But we're like, oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Right? So what they're looking at is imagery. So now, like, the last collaboration album I did was with Jay Prince, who's from LA.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone just goes, oh, man, you're the Sri Lankan Nipsey Hussle. Right? It's just like, because he's got the braids and the beard and everything. And it's like, well, cool, fine, but again, like if I was him, I'd push back on that and be like, no, I'm way more than just that version of that artist.
I'm uniquely me.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
So that's where it gets challenging.
Yeah, I can see that. And do you still face? You said you faced it initially when you started with the I guess the confusion between being an Australian musician and then losing that Sri Lankan market after the Iraj era. How about now? Do you still feel that kind of when you release stuff now? Because I know you release heaps of things, and which I want to get to in a moment. I know you've released like a 3-part EP as well.
Yes.
So when you're releasing stuff now, do you still feel like kind of pigeonholing or?
Bro, to be honest, man, I'm kind of just like at that age now where I'm just like, look, I'm going to release my music, whether you like it or not.
It's out.
It is out there. Yeah. So I'm not here trying to be like, yo, I need a track here that's going to resonate with the Sri Lankan audience. I'm not doing any of that. Yeah. I'm just like, look, I'm going to make the music that I want to make, and everyone else just play catch up.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm not here just trying to like pander to an audience. Because I find that if I was to do that, and to be honest, I did that a few times in my career.
Right. Okay.
Right. I had a track because again, after the during the Iraj era, if you want to call it that.
It just came out, man.
Shout out Taylor Swift. Like, during the Iraj era, I was like, oh man, Iraj is getting all these views on songs that I'm featured on, but I need to kind of translate that to my stuff. Oh, wait a second.
Clout before clout was a thing, right?
Well, not even that. It's just like, well, if Iraj is getting all this, and this is the other problem.
Yeah.
The audience didn't differentiate between me and Iraj.
They just put you all together as one artist.
And so like now the song with Soulja Boy, which is an Iraj produced track, but how it's credited is Iraj and Soulja Boy featuring MARKIA. Even though I'm on 90% of the song, and Soulja Boy has a verse, and Iraj has absolutely no vocals on that song whatsoever, right? Everyone credits Iraj as that song, right? It's like DJ Khaled.
Did you wrote that?
I wrote everything.
Yeah. Okay.
I wrote everything except for Soulja Boy's verse.
Yeah. Right. So it's like DJ Khaled or David
Guetta.
Yeah.
But that's different because I think the DJ is the actual focal point. It's like you're the DJ, so you're kind of like putting the song together. But the problem is the Sri Lankan audience isn't aware of that, so they're just like, oh, and it used to piss me off.
I was going to say, if you're doing all the work,
I would look at some of these YouTube comments, and they'd be like, oh, Iraj, you got such an awesome voice. Like, you mean to tell me that Iraj looks like me as well and sounds like me?
That would kind of grind my gears, man.
Yeah, and so it was frustrating me. It's not Iraj's fault. It's the audience's fault for not knowing any better.
Why do you think that's the case? Like, why do you think... It's pretty obvious because I'm no professional musician, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm listening to a track or I'm watching a track and I know what's happening, like I know David Guetta is singing, I know DJ Khaled is singing, but even to a lower level, similar to what you had with Iraj and Soulja Boy, you can tell, man. Like it's just, especially if there's a bloody video, right?
Yes. Yeah. I think it's just plain ignorance.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's absolute ignorance.
Or lack of care, I guess.
Well, it's the fact that they say, "Oh, Iraj and Soulja Boy." That's
okay.
and I'm the feature artist. So so what am I doing on the song then if I'm the feature artist?
Yeah, okay.
So that's the issue. So I think there is a lack of understanding. There's a lack of trying to get knowledge around this stuff, and even just like I said, just plain ignorance of the fact that hey, there's 3 artists on the song. Well, technically 2 if you
Iraj isn't singing, right?
Yeah. So if you don't count the producer, there's actually 2 artists on this song.
Yeah.
And we made it as such because the song that I did with Iraj previously to that was a song with Sean Kingston.
Yeah.
Right? Now that song, Iraj said, "Hey man, I want to try and like target every single audience." And probably this is where I learned not to do it. Right? Because what he said
So he
was
was pandering, essentially, what you're saying.
well, what he said was he was pandering maybe, but trying to expand his audience was what he really went by.
Yeah, gotcha.
So what he said was, look, I'm going to go and get a rapper from India, a singer from Bangladesh, another guy from Malaysia, you from Australia, and all of you guys are going to jump on this song with Sean Kingston, right? So now we're talking about 5 different languages on one song. And we're just like, dude.
It seems convoluted.
If I only stand 1/5 of a song, I'm only going to listen to 1/5 of a song. Right, I don't care who the feature is.
Yeah, okay.
Right, so this is the intent was to grow the audience, but the audience I think is a bit smarter than that at the same time.
Would you say the quality of the song would
it was horrible
decrease as well? Because
it was terrible.
Too many chefs ruin a good dish, right? I mean,
well, but that's the problem. It's just it didn't work and didn't resonate with anybody.
Yeah.
So after that happened, when he got the feature with Soulja Boy, I said, "All right, bro, listen to me. Don't put anyone else on this song. Don't do no Sinhalese version. Don't do no Indian. Just me and Soulja Boy.
And that's it.
That's it, right? And the song, I'm tooting my own horn. The song was so good. Soulja Boy actually retweeted the song.
Yeah, that's mad.
Soulja Boy retweeted my lyrics to that song.
Yeah, right.
And so Soulja Boy. This was in the height of Soulja Boy about to. No, well, it was after that, but he was about to go and box Chris Brown. They had some beef going on. This was about 10 years ago. But
I forgot about that. Yeah.
It was a thing.
But he was peaking. Yeah.
He was peak, and so this was like pretty much after the whole like "Kiss Me Through the Phone" phase, and so this song reminded him of that.
And that was a dope song.
Yeah,
too. So,
because
like, he's on a mad high. If you're reminding him of that song, you've done well, man.
Well, that's the thing. So he was just hyped for it. So that's what I mean. So to this day, I think that video's got 500,000 views.
Yeah,
right.
Wow.
But again, like I'm as an artist in Melbourne, Australia, saying, well, where's the flow-on effect? For me as an artist, then if I've got a song out there which is 90% me featuring Soulja Boy, and it's got 500,000 views, where's it resonating on my side? And so this is where I would say I pandered when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna create a song called Lion Attic, where I was actually at the cricket, and I pulled out my voice recorder and I sampled the Pupra band. That was like, go Lanka, go, because that's the only place you hear it.
Yeah.
I sampled that and I put it in the song.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, okay, cool, this is gonna be my Sri Lankan song.
Yeah,
right?
gotcha.
And yeah, cool, got a few people in. They didn't listen to the rest of the album, so it's just like, all right, whatever.
Do you feel? You've drawn on so many key topics that I want to deep dive into, but it's that industry that you're in. It's a dog-eat-dog industry, man.
For sure.
Like it's absolutely the top 1%. They're getting paid the millions.
Totally.
Again, right. But the other 99.9% even, right? You're getting, not you personally, but these artists and these producers, peanuts, man. They all got other jobs, right? So it's hard to be that 1% without pandering, I would say, to a certain extent. Like, teach me, like, what would you suggest?
Okay. I would say go and learn a skill set within the music industry that's not being the front-facing artist.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I've made way more from being a producer and an engineer than I've ever made from being an artist.
Like a sound engineer, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. So actually mixing and mastering tracks and producing.
Yeah.
I've made way more from doing that than from being an actual artist. Because, like you said, right, the 1% of artists, and even if you put aside the 1%, just look at streaming and the fact of how much like Spotify will actually pay you for stuff,
Barely
right?
anything, man.
Even how much YouTube will pay you for stuff, right? It's minimal.
Yeah.
So there's only so much quote unquote pandering that you can do that's going to make up for that amount, right? For myself, look, I haven't made too much money from the Sri Lankan music industry.
Yeah.
If any, right?
Yeah.
Because there's an absolute reason for that. As big as some of these songs have been, Sri Lanka doesn't have a copyright association. There's no performing rights association within Sri Lanka.
Can you explain that to the viewers, what that actually means?
For sure.
Yeah.
So within Australia and the US and most I would say first world countries, there is a performing rights association. So we have one out here called APRA, right? Which is basically So it's a
I'm
place
registered with them actually. Yeah,
absolutely. As a songwriter, you should
Yeah.
be, because what APRA does is that if your song is then played on radio, TV, live performance, or anywhere in a public venue, that you get a royalty from that, which is called a live performance royalty, right?
Yeah, right. Okay.
Now that is not covered in your split that you get from DistroKid when you put up your song on Spotify.
Yeah, okay.
It's not covered by that. This is this is live performance.
And that doesn't exist in Lanka at all.
No, it does not at all, because in order to have that, venues have to pay a licensing fee. Right now, you think Palau's and stuff are going to pay a licensing fee?
No.
That's what I mean. So this
uncle is paying no licensing fee.
They're not paying licensing fees, right? So this is why, in Australia, if you go into a cafe, they'll have a sticker on the window that says APRA registered, right? Which means that if they play anything in that cafe, they're paying
original producer.
Or they're paying a licensing fee to APRA.
Yeah.
Right. So
but then they look after it in the other end.
Yes, APRA will go ahead and do all the admin work around that. Yeah. But like now, for example, off my last album, Freedom Season, I had a song called Lean On, which was on MTV. Right?
Yeah, right.
If it wasn't for APRA, I wouldn't have got paid the amount I got paid from that song. Right, yeah. Because they're collecting the royalty for that. It doesn't matter wherever this song is being played outside of that. So like now, for example, Lion Nation, that song was performed at the opening ceremony of the 2012 World Cup, right? T20 World Cup.
Where was
Bangladesh.
It? So you got fuck all, right?
I got nothing.
Yeah, right.
Right, and that was performed at the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Now, even just the viewership
so
from
do they have because over here with the app we have the ICN number or whatever, right?
Yes.
It's triggered to your song. I remember being very pedantic about that.
Yes.
None of that exists over there, is what you're saying.
It doesn't exist over there. So this is the thing. So look, Raj, you're gonna find out now. I went and registered those songs here.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm not about to if I'm not getting paid anything physically from my commitment, or my contribution to the songs, let me get some back end from this at least.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right. So I went and registered those songs and made sure that I was getting something from them. Yeah. Right. And that's the only way it could work.
You draw another good point there. Do you feel like these people that have made it, like your Runny Doos, your Infars, your Raj, specifically the latter, I'd say, because he's kind of a big deal, or was a big deal. I don't know what he's doing now, but his songs were a big deal, and he was a good producer, and he did so much, and I think he was very clever in marketing too, which
for sure,
with everything that he did. So, do you reckon they used the whole, come write the song, bring your talent, do everything? What you get paid is exposure. And personally, man, I hate that, because I get that here with a lot of certain demographic, I'll say. Yeah. Come sing at my wedding, come do this, and look, you can host this, you can host that, and you get exposure because there'll be 1,000 people there. Yeah. Yeah, but 1,000 people don't pay no bills, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Do you reckon that's what they're trying to sell it on for the struggling? Not that you're struggling, but to the up and coming artists.
They do, and I think that depending on what that opportunity is, it can be worthwhile or it won't be. Now, there hasn't been with my collabs that I've done, and not just with the Raj, with any Sri Lankan artist, we never discuss splits or any other type of stuff until it gets time to release stuff, right? But then it becomes a bit it's questionable.
But you have no pool in.
Exactly.
It's already done. They've got all the everything.
Absolutely. So from that point, now for me, I never had the conversation with the Raj simply because I knew that his where he was at in his career was much greater than where I was at. So I'm like, yeah, bro, it's a good look, right? For sure. Right.
And that, I think anyone in their right mind would have made the same decision.
Totally. However, on the flip side to that, I remember I was invited to perform that song Lion Attic in Melbourne at the Sri Lankan cricket team gala that was happening here. Yeah, this was probably about almost 10 years ago now.
Yeah. I know gala you're talking about. All the cricketers came down as a dinner dance kind of thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And so I remember, one of the organizers on the committee had heard the song and was like, "Oh, yeah, you need to perform this.
This is dope.
This is sick.
This guy's from Melbourne.
Come and perform this thing, right? For the cricketers, right? For the actual team.
Yeah, the first XI,
Yeah, I'm like, all right, let's do it. And so I remember I went to one of the committee meetings here, and I showed them all the video clip and everything, and I said, yeah, look, I'm, be more than happy to perform this song. And then, so one of the committee members stands up and says, "Hey, look, this is a great song, and you're a great artist, but we also understand that this is a big deal for you." This is what he's telling me. He's like, "This is a big deal for you, for you to perform this song in front of this cricket team. So I guess it's only right that you contribute to that, So how does $3,000 sound?" I'm like,
"As in
wait, are you paying me that, or are you asking me to pay that?" They said, "Yeah, because this is an opportunity for you, so it's only right that you pay us." I'm like, Bro, all right, first and foremost, right, my last song that I did for the Sri Lankan cricket team was called Lion Nation. That was performed at the opening ceremony.
For the World Cup.
Yeah. This is peanuts, right? This is performed at Kathy's Lane, right? What are you talking about, right?
We're just in one tournament.
Yeah, what are you talking about, right? So I was infuriated.
Yeah,
right?
fair enough too, man.
And so I just stormed out of the meeting.
So to be clear, let me just... They asked you to perform your song...
And asked me to pay them.
And asked you to pay them $3,000...
To play the
perform.
Song. Yeah, because it was an opportunity for me.
This is what's wrong
yes.
with the mindset and people thinking about artists. I think there needs to be far more respect towards artists of any type.
Absolutely.
Whether it's actors or singers or
100%.
artists. Yeah.
Now, look, I stormed out that meeting. I told them to kick rocks. And I said, look, no, I don't care. And so, look, I weaponized my fan base that night, and I said, "Hey, go and flood this dude's page."
The guy that said it.
Yeah. With
I weaponized my fan page.
Yeah, with the link to the song, and just bang.
Everyone, yeah.
Within 48 hours, they turned the decision around and said, "Mark, please come and perform." That dude didn't say a word to me that whole night.
Well, he shouldn't. He was being an asshole for lack of a better
words. But that's what I mean. So now this is the problem. This is our own people.
Yeah, I know.
This is our own people. This is an elder. Right, saying the stuff to a young guy in Melbourne trying to do something for himself.
Or trying to make it, yeah.
And you're trying to try and swindle me out of $3,000.
And how you trying to, I guess, encourage the youth to do this when there's like...
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So now, if I didn't know any better, do you think, if that's what my elders are doing, there's a good chance that I might go and do that to somebody else now.
Yeah.
Right, and that kind of repeats the cycle. For the record, I would never do that.
Yeah.
But when I see elders do that, people that have a place on a board, and you mean to tell me not to be disrespectful?
It's hard.
It's come on, like no.
It's not. See, the mindset there is in just not Sri Lankans, but like Asian cultures. If they're older, it doesn't matter whatever they say. You have to respect them.
Yeah,
I don't abide by that at all, man.
Bro, I'm Sri Lankan enough to give respect to everybody, but I'm Melbourne enough to not be disrespected.
Yeah.
Right.
Respect is there, man. You can't just have it because of how old you are, what date you were born.
No. But this is the problem. Like now,
and that infuriates me so much that I can't believe he had the nerve to ask you.
Well, the reason was, and because I got the backstory behind that, was because they were short on their budget. So you're not going to try and get that out of me, man. Right?
But tickets were still like $100-something back then.
Well, that's them. Yeah. That's on them. I didn't ask them to put on the event.
Yeah.
I didn't set their budget.
Yeah.
But
wow,
how are they going to get that out of their entertainment? Who they should actually be investing into, not the other way around.
That's wild, man.
So,
kudos for you handling it the way you handle it, and I think it's important that you did weaponize it. to quote MARKIA here.
No, because I want to show that I'm not just some punk kid from Glen Waverley.
Yeah.
That I just like, I just need I just need some exposure. Like, bro, no.
But even if you were, there should be some level.
Even if it was,
exactly, yeah.
There should be something in them that would be like, hey, let's give the young kid a shot.
Yeah.
Let's do something that's going to help him, right? If he performs, like this is the hypothetical, if he performs in front of this audience and they like what he does, it's going to lead to something else. And he's going to thank that committee for giving him the opportunity.
And you never forget.
No. But now it's just like, no, peace out, man. I don't care who you guys are.
And now, like it gets to a point where even if they were to pay, you're like, man, this is way too much. Like,
it ain't worth it.
Yeah, it ain't worth it. Yeah.
It's not even worth the money.
Yeah. Far out, man. So, couple questions. Music.
Yeah.
Is your family like talented in this? Are your parents actors? Like, what's the go, man? Like singers? Like, how did you fall into this to take it way back when? With 16.
Sure.
I know you said you were on CDJs at 16.
Yeah, totally.
Were you actually on CDJs?
No, actually, I was on vinyl at the time. CDJs, I couldn't afford CDJs, but I was on vinyl. No, man, my parents were like normal Sri Lankans. They engineer like by trade and accountant.
Could they be more brown?
Well, but that's the thing. I think in the 80s, that's you come out to Australia to make something of your life and give your kids a better opportunity. So we were fortunate enough, myself and my older sister, to be able to explore the arts. So my sister is an actress. And I'm a music producer and an artist. So
you guys are nothing like an accountant or an engineer.
No.
Totally different.
Totally different.
That's amazing.
Totally different. And we had parents that were willing to champion that and actually get behind us.
That's good to hear, man.
And cheer us on because what's the point of coming to Australia to migrate and not giving your kids the opportunities that you didn't get? You know what I mean?
Fruits of the,
that's the whole point. Like, I mean, if you're gonna come out here and then tell your kids, hey, doctor, lawyer, accountant, and that's it, you might as well just stay back home. Right? Because you're not really utilizing the opportunities and the actual, you're not really you're not accepting the kids, for who they are.
Yeah.
And so I know for me, like I did the due diligence, to be honest. Like after high school, yes, I was signed and I was doing music, but I went and I studied IT programming. Never want to use it, right?
But as a backup,
I never had to use it,
Thank
but
God
I
for
did that, to honor my parents
Yeah.
at the same time. But they were happy for me to go and venture into what I was passionate about.
Yeah.
And they just said, look, just handle your responsibilities.
Yeah.
Make sure your bills are paid. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself.
The rest will happen.
Yeah, go and do it.
Yeah.
Right? Why not take the risk?
Yeah, right. I think that's really good mindset to have. I think instilling that sense of belief and that sense of support. Because if you don't provide that kind of environment, I don't think anyone can. No flower can blossom.
For sure,
so to speak.
No, totally. But I also feel like that's what they come from.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So people in Sri Lanka come from a mentality. I'll say it's of fear.
Yeah.
The fear is, hey, if you don't go to school, if you don't go to university, if you don't get this degree, you're not going to have this job, you're not going to have this salary, you're not going to have this type of lifestyle. So it becomes this thing of fear, right?
Okay.
Which is instilled into our parents, where it's coming from a good place because they want us to do well, but the idea of us doing well is pigeonholed into this box of academics, right? And so if it doesn't fit into that, there is fear that it's not going to work out, right? So in their insecurity and their fear of their kids not succeeding, they're telling this type of advice to say, go and do this, academic stuff, but we may not be academically inclined.
And that might be worse than giving it a shot doing the different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually I don't blame it actually. I read into this, and it's based on all that, I guess, third world or developing nations now, as they call it. It's based on a scarcity mindset to do with lack of money, lack of health. So that scarcity mindset is generational.
Yes.
Because the majority of people, I would safely say, are below the poverty line or very close to it, right?
Yeah.
So that scarcity mindset is there, and it's instilled, and it's just like you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's so ingrained and so, I guess, resonated through all these generations that the constant thing they teach is like scarcity mindset. We don't have enough money. We're not going to be healthy. So therefore, this is the safest option. Go down this route. Yeah. So I don't blame my parents, for example, at all. And I think that's the safest thing they can do. But the point that I love that you brought up was the fact that if you're bringing your kids to this country, this land of everything, I freaking love Australia, man, right? Everything that I do is because we're here. Why not utilize the opportunities that are at our fingertips? It'll just be exactly what you said. Otherwise, we might as well just stay in Colombo and become an IT consultant or an accountant.
Absolutely. What's the point? I mean, I think, look, if you're passionate about that, that's a different story, right?
Yeah.
If you're passionate about accounting, go do your thing, right?
Yeah, man, you can do Python and C++. That's cool.
Do your thing, man. But I got no idea what you just said. But that's what. Fine, go ahead and do it. Yeah. But don't instill that on your kids that may not be that way inclined.
Like, don't force it.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, my music, passion came, when I was, growing up and just listening to what my sister was playing in her room.
So she does music as well?
No, well, she's an actress. But at the time, again, we struggle with image, us immigrants. Us that,
As in us brown people?
Living in Australia, living in a country that's,
who are we?
Not our own. We don't, we're not Indians,
Yeah.
right? We're not, we're a different country, but yet we're trying to figure out where do we fit in society, right? Yeah. So because, we don't work at 7-Eleven. Yeah. That's not us. We'll do the books for it. Yeah. But we don't work there, right? So that's, it's hard to find where we fit in. And so at that time, like in the late 90s, I think all of us were going through kind of like identity crisis. And so my sister, like any other brown person, gravitated towards R&B and hip hop music, right? Yeah. And so that's all I heard playing out of her room when I was younger. Yeah. So I naturally gravitated towards that, but not just the music, but the style and everything. Yeah. And so by doing that, I kind of like felt that I fitted into a culture which was not represented. Well, I mean, I fitted into hip-hop culture where I didn't see any representation of Sri Lankan culture at all in society. Yeah. Not society's fault.
It's what it is. It's because we were pigeonholed to do what we were meant to do, which is the aforementioned areas of work.
Exactly. So, so that's all it took for me. And then what I found was that nearly every non-white kid that I came in contact with when I was younger also fitted into the hip-hop culture, right? They all resonated with this style and this culture and this look because
you bonded over that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there was almost like, and it's not that evident now because I think genres of music now are just so blurred that it's not even a thing. But at that time, you could just look at somebody and be like, yep, they're part of the hip hop culture. Right? And it's almost just like there's an understanding that happened You know, just by
it's almost like a mutual respect without
totally,
talking.
Totally, because we know what it's like to have racism, you know, in our face when we're younger. We know what it's like to apply for jobs, you know, on end with our surnames and not be given them.
Do you know how many people change their names to like a white name?
Jonathan Smith?
Yeah. Tony De Silva.
Bro, for the record, you know, my parents actually named me Mark, right, instead of Dimothu, because they knew that I was going to be born here.
Yeah,
and they knew it was going to be a problem at
When Dimothu, is that your middle name?
No, it's not. No, I'm just saying.
Make it up.
I'm saying it could have been.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah.
Right? It could have been. But that's the thing. So, you know, my parents had the foreknowledge or, you know, the foresight to be like, give them a white name.
Yeah, it makes
because
it easier,
it's going to be difficult.
What's your sister's name?
Monique.
Yeah, right. So they thought ahead.
They thought ahead, yeah. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
So music was, my passion for music came
from the 90s.
From that.
From hearing R&B from the neighbouring room.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then how did MARKIA come in? Because obviously your name is Mark.
Yeah.
Tell us about...
Sure.
Yeah.
So when I was about... I was probably still in high school. I was pretty heavy in church.
Yep.
And I didn't really have an artist name. Like, I was writing music and nothing had been recorded or released. Yeah. But I just didn't know what to call myself. And MARKIA just seemed like a cool thing at the time. It's just like, because everyone had like names that were just like one name, and it just was that, like Usher, Aaliyah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just one name.
I don't know why I said sure. No, you said all the cool names, and I was like, yes, sure.
But there's no one else, right? There's no other Beyonce.
Yeah.
Right? There's no other Drake. It's just one name. So I was like, oh yeah, MARKIA sounds like it works, right?
MARKIA, right?
Yeah. So I was like, all right, that works. So it didn't have a meaning at the start, but then the more and more I got into church, what I found was that even the Bible talks about that, you know, everyone is anointed to live their life. So it basically means that they're called to live their life. And so what I found was that people would pray for me, and they'd be like, you know, Mark, we feel that you're really anointed, you know, God's got a call in your life. And I was like, that's really cool. So then I thought, it makes sense. MARKIA, Mark is anointed. And
so cool, man.
It just
I never even knew that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've had it for 20 years.
Yeah, it just worked out. Yeah.
It just works like that, man.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And you just released is the second or the third part of this. Tell me a little bit about this project that you've been working on.
Sure.
The EP series.
Yeah, totally. So this year, I released an EP series called what was it called? Victory Music.
Victory Music. Yeah. Cool.
And
he makes so much music.
Yeah,
he doesn't even know which ones are his and what it's called.
I just got back from holiday.
Which look great, by the way. I saw your stories.
Appreciate you. Yeah, it's called Victory Music. Yeah. This is my first solo project in 4 years. And in the last 4 years, I've only done collaborative projects, and which have been really great. But after my previous album, I was like, hey, I got nothing else to talk about. So I'm not in a rush to put out music. That's the one thing for me. I'll wait till I'm inspired, and I'll wait till the creativity hits me, and then I'll get in and start making stuff. So this year I got married, and so
big year for you, man. Congratulations. I was going to bring that up later, but you got married. You started his EP series.
Yeah. Well, this was the thing. So I actually stopped making music in November of last year. I took a break from everything. I'd finished my last project, and I said, cool, I'm going to take a break. Go and
like
get
you
married.
Personally, right? You still did the sound engineering and the producing?
No. Shut everything down.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool.
I shut everything down and be like, nah, cool. I've got to focus on getting this wedding sorted.
Yeah.
Right?
Because they are a pain in the ass.
Well, I mean, ours was pretty easy to sort out. Okay. Called in a lot of favors from all the people that I did events for previously. So staging, sound, lighting, all the stuff was sorted. But outside of that, I just wanted to just focus on getting married. Yeah. And so after I got back from the honeymoon, my wife just said as a joke, hey, what would your music sound like now if you made it? I was like, that's a good point. Let's find out. And so I literally just jumped in the studio and just started making stuff. So what originally happened was I was intending to make an album because I'm old school and think, let's do a 15-track album. Yeah. And so I made 2 songs, and they sounded absolutely nothing like each other. Right? One was kind of new school, like drill track, and the second one was an old school like R&B joint. And I'm like, this doesn't fit.
They're quite
they're totally different.
Yeah, polar opposites.
But this is the thing, I was just creating as I wanted to create.
Yeah. And
so then the third track I made after that was this heavy, like choir, like gospel infused thing. I'm like, oh, none of this fits.
So just like Hillsong vibes.
Well, it's not even that. It's more like black gospel.
Black gospel. Oh, right, like churchy choir, like opera organ kind of thing. Okay,
whole thing, right? So I was like, wow, this is very different. How's this going to work? So then I thought, look, let's split this up into 3 EPs, and one can be the new school stuff, one can be the old school stuff, and one can be the gospel stuff. Yeah. So what I did was I released these, like every month since July. So there's 3 EPs that are out now. I don't know if I'll do another one.
What are they called? Like, are they called different things?
So one's called Victory Music. That's just volume 1.
Yep.
Second one's called 1992, which is the old school one.
Yep.
And the third one's called Trinity. And
Trinity, I saw this recently. Yeah.
So that was the most recent one that came out. And surprisingly, they've charted in Sri Lanka, which is crazy. So one of the tracks off 1992, which was called the B-side, actually went number 1 in Sri Lanka for 3 weeks.
I did see that.
Yeah.
So I was going to bring that up. I saw you posted about that about a month or so ago.
When I was on holiday.
When you're on holiday. Yeah.
It happened at the most awkward time where I didn't have phone
viral,
reception and all this stuff. I'm like, oh man, I'm number 1 in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But that's what I mean. This is the whole idea of you put it out, let them play catch up. They'll come to it.
Yeah.
Right. It's not going to work if you just keep throwing I'm Sri Lankan and that's. No. After a while, people get bored of that. It's like, what else do you want to talk about?
Because Mark is already anointed, after all.
Yeah, totally.
That's going to be the hook for
that's it.
for the TikTok reel.
That's it.
Yeah, right, man. So you got all 3 out now. You're going to take a break in. Like, where to? I don't want to say where to next because music is not something, like you said before, you can't force it, man. Yeah. I've been sitting on one track for 3 years now, and I haven't.
But that's fine.
It is what it is, right?
I would rather.
What do you want to? Yeah.
Sure. I would rather people sit and wait on music, or sit and wait until the creativity hits them, or they feel moved to write something, as opposed to trying to force stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the moment you force music, it doesn't resonate. It sounds forced. It sounds manufactured, and it just doesn't. It will pass your thought process so quickly that you won't even think about it later.
Yeah.
And you won't even enjoy them after that point.
Yeah, right.
So for me, I've got no plans.
Let it come naturally.
Yeah, I've got no plans. I'm always going to be producing and engineering for people, but for myself, I gave people pretty much. I gave him 3 projects this year.
That's a lot, man. 15 songs in a year, 3 EPs, 555 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Oh, here we go. What's your favorite out of the 3 EPs?
I don't have a favorite because I feel like I resonate with each of them, for their own unique, in their own unique way. So
he gave the politically correct answer. No, I was trying to trick him. It didn't work.
No, because I feel like, again, when this is the thing. If you're creating from the right place, I don't think you'd ever be able to, say which is your favorite song, whatever it is. It's just like asking a parent which is their favorite child. Now, some of them might answer that.
Some of them might answer that.
Don't ask them that question. Right?
Yeah, not in public.
Yeah, because at some point, this is all a part of you.
Yeah.
Right. So it's all gonna, it's all gonna have its place, in your heart, in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So the first one. I love it because it's the new stuff. It's stuff that I ventured out to do, which was not something I'd done before.
Yeah.
Never done drill stuff before.
Yeah.
I dabbled with.
I didn't know this was a drill one actually because I didn't hear the first one. Yeah.
Well, so there's two drill tracks on there.
Yeah.
There's a heavy club joint on there. There's an Afrobeat track on there as well.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So there's stuff which I haven't. I've dabbled with some of the sounds before, but haven't gone all the way into that world before.
Yeah, gotcha.
Right. The second EP, because it's old school. It was a bit of a gamble for me because I knew it was coming out. No one knew it was coming out.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this is all old school. I pulled out my old MPCs and all my old vinyls and stuff to create this thing.
Yeah, right.
So I went through the old process of building this EP. So I'm like, it's old. How are people going to resonate to it? But interestingly enough, it's probably been the most received.
Is it when you said you pulled out vinyls and whatnot? Do you mean to sample things?
Sample, yeah,
okay, gotcha.
Yeah. To actually go to my old process of creating beats, not just drawing stuff, in FL Studio, but actually going in and creating stuff through hardware.
Yeah, right.
So it went through
literally old school.
Yeah, literally. And so that's totally different again. So I'm like, oh gosh. So there was nervousness when it came to putting out that one, and for the final one, because it's all gospel and almost like a live music experience. Once again, there's a vulnerability that comes with that because I've never done this stuff either before.
Yeah.
So all 3 of these EPs are showcasing something on myself.
Uniquely you in different ways.
Yeah, which is me being stretched beyond my
comfort zone.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess I'll flip the question then.
Mm-hmm.
Which was the most challenging out of the 3 for you personally?
I'm not trying to be politically correct again, but they all had their own challenges in their own
Can't get anything out of this.
No, but I'll tell you what the challenges were. So, the first one, the challenge with drill music is trying to make it sound sincere. No, bro.
As you can tell, clearly I'm not a music connoisseur.
No. It's trying to make it sound authentic.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Because, of course, if you just hear drills
that's what I'm thinking.
It's not that.
I think black British guy.
Yeah. No, I'm talking more so from a production standpoint,
okay, yep.
and from a lyrical delivery standpoint as well. That's a bit challenging.
Gotcha.
Second EP, the challenge was to make something old sound like it's new, because it's old school, but I want to make it sound like it fits into this era.
Right.
That
seems difficult.
That was pretty difficult. But then at some point I'd be like, man, just trust your gut with this.
That had a B-side, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But that's an old school sample. That's a sample of the Gap Band, right? Which is super old. And then, the drums are from the Gap Band. And then the bass line is from Kool and the Gang, Too Hot. So it's a fusion of that. And so, again, there's no 808s in that song, none of that type of stuff. So, there's actually no 808s in that whole project, to be honest.
And an 808 is, for people who have no idea what you're talking about?
It's a very low sounding kick drum, which has a low resonating bass through it. So
which is very common.
Yes, it's pretty much in nearly every hip hop track that comes out now. All Travis Scott, they use it pretty much in every song. Yeah. You feel it probably the most when you're in your car.
Yeah.
You probably won't feel it.
That's why they do it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. It's more of a feel than it is an actual sound itself. And then, look, the third one...
Trinity?
Yes. Probably the biggest challenge was I didn't have an actual choir.
So what did you, loop? Layer?
Well, so...
tell us that.
Anyone that goes and looks at the credit of this EP will see that I credited a choir called the Victory Music Choir. Freedom Gospel Choir.
Right, okay.
Freedom Gospel Choir is actually an AI. And this was my first experiment with AI as well.
That's cool, man.
So what I did was I found some AI tools, and I'd said, okay, well, look, I need to try and build a choir. How do I do this? Because what I was doing in the studio, trying to emulate a choir, was recording this thing 40 times and trying to change the sound of my voice.
And fucking pitching it and whatever,
standing here and here. Okay, it's not working properly.
Yeah, right.
So how do I...
You did try though.
I did try it, and
the quality wasn't there.
It sounded okay, but it didn't sound as good as it would if you had actual female vocals hitting top notes and stuff like that. So I found these AI tools, right, where it said, if you give us the melody line and your vocal guide, they will emulate a vocal on top of that.
And just multiple.
Yes, and so you feed into the system, all right, here's the vocal line, it's a melody line, give me a female pop vocal, then give me a male soul vocalist, and then give me then a EDM top liner and stuff like that. So
do you have to give them... Because I know because I've bought beats, and then you have to get the rights to... There's different types of licensing, right? Yep. So when you're doing that, is it sorry to go off tangent here, so how does that work? Do you owe the company that owes the AI tool software, or...
No, it's my voice, it's my guide.
So it's just a tool just to tweak it or whatever.
It's basically putting something on top of it. So it's like you're adding a plugin on top of that.
Yeah. Okay,
so it's not necessarily because it's not their vocal. It's my vocal, but they're just putting the sound
like a synth
on top of it. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, gotcha.
But it's when you hear it, it's like, oh, that sounds like a female singing that.
Yeah, right.
So 40 times over for each song, there's your choir.
That's dope, man.
So again, massive stretch for me as well. At the same time, it's like this is me doing this with a choir, and I wanted to make it sound like an actual choir and make it feel like a live experience. So
that's dope, man.
Yeah.
So, question, and this is a question that I always get asked as well. So I'm you being far more experienced than I am. I'm curious to get your answer on it. Do you prefer producing and being in the studio and releasing music, or do you prefer live?
I'm trying not to give politically correct answers anymore.
I want one answer. Your life depends on it, Mark.
I think that in the studio, you're given the freedom to mess up because you can do it as many times as you want. You can experiment with stuff. You can, try something. If it doesn't work,
you never existed.
Yeah, or you can just go ahead and just do it again.
Yeah,
or just rework it.
Gotcha.
Right. Just like some of the tracks done with yourself.
Yeah.
If you didn't like something, go ahead and redo it.
Can I just say, Mark is very patient. When I was in the studio with him.
But that's what I mean. So I think it's only done when it's released.
Yeah.
Right. So up to that point, you can sit with it, you can rework it, and until you're satisfied with it.
Yeah.
So for me, I think there is a freedom of expression that comes from just sitting in the studio and not having anyone that's gonna look at you.
The pressure.
Any type of way. The live experience.
And I've seen you perform live a couple times, man. So
okay, well, where were those venues? Just
the Danny on Drum Theatre. I saw you at one of these events.
Oh yes, that was with Meds.
With Meds, yeah.
Yes.
Actually, I also this wasn't live, but it was a video of you performing live. I've seen as well. I think it might have been actually like a video you were shooting. You were getting people to come down. You had like a sparkly jacket or something.
Oh yeah, there was some ads as well. So that,
okay,
it wasn't a performance. That was a video clip.
It was a video clip. Okay,
yeah.
cool. My bad. But it looked dope.
It was sick. It's sick. So Fly is out now as well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
plug away.
Live can be interesting.
Yeah, okay.
And the reason why is because it really depends on the audience, what they're there for, and were they actually there to see you in the first place. And I say that very specifically because some of the places that we perform at, people didn't pay to see us.
So they didn't give a shit about you, essentially.
Yeah. So they could not care less. In that room at the Sri Lankan Cricket Gala, half of the audience was like, "Machang, come have a drink with me," and could not be bothered what was happening on stage. The other half was just like, "Oh, this is MARKIA, man. This is sick." Right? That's the thing. So that can look a certain way.
It'll change the whole vibe, right?
It can totally change the whole vibe, right? And even as an artist, as a performer, that can also put you down at the same time because you're looking at some of these dudes just drinking Johnny Walker on the side, could not care less about what's happening on stage. And then the other side is just like, man, they're really into this. So it becomes, it can be quite, perplexing because, you're there to connect with an audience, right? But there's been times where I've been either headliner or support act.
And you loved it.
Yeah, because the audience is there for you.
Do you kind of froth on that, man? Like, it's an awesome... I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, like, you get so much energy when people are just there vibing with you or, like, you're saying things and it's hitting. Not just songs, even when you're talking, you're engaging with the audience. They're fully in, man, you know?
I think there is a ability with the live performance to bring the songs to life and make them connect with people more than they would if they just listened to it at home. So before I went on my trip, I actually did a performance for the first Featuring Music EP.
Yeah, right.
And people in the audience knew the songs already, which I wasn't aware of.
That's awesome.
And so I actually shared with that audience, the purpose behind it and everything. And when I got to do the songs, they're shouting the lyrics back to me. Yeah. So I'm like, oh man, they know this stuff.
That's dope.
That's what I mean. So it hits in a different way when you're hearing it live.
And then you're more pumped up and you're getting more energized and getting into it.
Absolutely. And I think that's awesome. The thing because end of the day, you want your message to be able to resonate with people. Yeah. Right. And whether that happens, from a live performance connection or it happens with the music, either one works incredibly well.
Nah, dope, man. Yeah. All right. I got a couple of things I got to do before we wrap things up. Firstly, if people want to find your music and the work that you do, where's the place to go? Just tell the camera where they can find you.
Look, everyone's on social media, so I would just say go to Instagram, MARKIA51, so MARKIA, 5, 1. That's the best place where you can just find everything that I'm up to. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, every streaming service, YouTube, the whole works.
It's beautiful, man. I got 5 questions which are totally different, right? They're quick fire questions. I need you to answer them as quick as you can, right?
Let's go.
All right, first one. Tomato sauce, in the fridge or in the pantry?
Pantry.
All right, sweet or savory?
Savory.
Would you rather never stop hiccuping or always feel like you needed to sneeze?
Always felt like I needed to sneeze.
All right. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck?
I want to see the horse-sized duck, to be honest.
Okay, I'm curious. We can't go into it, though, but that's it.
Yeah.
$10 million or find your true love? Assuming you're not married.
Yeah. No, find your true love.
Beautiful, man. Yeah. Bro, thanks so much for coming on the podcast, man. I learned so much about you, and we've spoken for hours in the studio, but to get down on this deep level was kind of special for me, so thank you for taking the time and coming out. Bro. I'm so excited to see what you're releasing next, and I'm definitely going to check out the Trinity album properly now, and I want to hear the drill music, because I didn't actually listen to it, to be completely honest, but I will.
Punk, go ahead, man.
I know. Man. How rude is this?
Your research
the worst podcast. There's so much music out there. I try to read it and stuff, but I missed out. But I'd rather be honest with you. So thank you for coming on, man. All the best for everything you got going.
Thank you,
guys. This has been MARKIA on Under the Coconut Tree with Tanila. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow both us and also MARKIA and the amazing work that he's doing as well. Brother, thanks so much. Peace out, man. Have a good one.
All right, man.
Cheers.
Powered by WinLads.